this oath, I commit to the ideals and mission of public health. Hi, I'm Taylor, and I am officially an MPH grad from Columbia. So we just had our graduations last week, and obviously with COVID and everything, it was a little different than planned, as are everyone who's graduating's graduations this year. So I also figured that since I don't have like a lot of fun actual in-person graduation footage that I was planning on having and like vlogging for, I figured it would be a nice time to do a little reflection. So a while back I did a video with my roommate and a couple friends, just sort of answering some FAQs about Mailman and public health and things like that. And we kind of briefly discussed like what we wish we knew and stuff like that. But I figured I'd do a video of just me taking all this self-isolation time to reflect and think about what I wish I had known before I started my MPH, now that I am officially done and there are officially letters after my name, and that is a really weird thing. And yeah, I don't know how long that's going to take to sink in, but I'm thinking forever. So I took some time, reflected on things I wish I'd known, and here are the top 5. So when I first started at Mailman, I think one of the big things that I had to come to terms with was anytime that I made a new friend, or anytime that people were introducing themselves in classes and things like that, people would always, like give a little background about themselves and things like that. And I remember always being like, wow, that's really cool. That person did something really awesome. I understand why they're at Columbia. But I just remember like the high that I had getting into Columbia when I was in undergrad, like finishing undergrad, and telling people that I was going to go to Columbia, and then getting here my first like day or two, that high like slowly faded as I listened to all these people talking about all the amazing things that they had done, and like the fancy schools that they had come from, and whether this was just like a me thing of like my personality, or like how like I was raised, or like my background, or not, I think it's a more universal experience, that imposter syndrome. But yeah, I just remember thinking like, I haven't done anything that cool. And so I think that kind of finishing out my MPH, I like wish I had told myself more in the beginning, like if they have really cool extracurriculars that got them in, you obviously did too, or you wouldn't be here. And I think that's like kind of one of those things where it's really great, like it's like the advice you would obviously give like your best friend, but you never give yourself. And so yeah, I think that's like my number one, because I think that was kind of like the first real thing that I was like, okay, I just came from like a state school in Florida, and like, yeah, I did some research and some stuff, but like I didn't like do these cool mission trips, or like work for the governor's office, or like other like, I don't know, it's just like cool stuff. And I think it's just one of those things that's like perspective, because like you're probably included in other people's lists of like, oh, that person did really cool stuff. So yeah, that would be my number one, is like, you deserve to be here. Okay, the second thing that I wish I had known was that the mindset of faculty members, I think, changes a little bit. And so that changes with how you as a student like interact with them, and how they interact with you. So an MPH is a terminal degree, meaning that you can go and have a job with an MPH. And like you don't need a PhD. Like most people go out into the workforce afterwards. And so as far as the professor is concerned, like this is it for you. Like you've already made it. So like they'll help you like in whatever way they can, but also like they're not as sympathetic to whatever next steps you want to take. And again, like everything's different and everyone's different. And this was just my experience with some of my professors at my school. But yeah, I think that was something that I wish I had known like beforehand, was just like, I obviously knew that you could go straight into the workforce with an MPH before I came in, but I didn't necessarily think about how that would affect my interactions with my professors. So number 3, contrary to everything I just said, is that because as far as in the professor's eyes, once like you're in, so you've made it, like you have done the thing, you have gotten into your MPH and you're going to finish your MPH, like God willing, and like barring any craziness from happening, like you're gonna have an MPH and you're gonna be basically like their peer. Obviously like all the professors have doctorate level degrees, but still, you know, like you can be in research with them and you can be working in nonprofits with them and things like that, in a way that the interaction between undergraduate students and professors and college professors is just, it's not the same. So like I had the opportunity to work with 3 different research, like on 3 different research projects during my 2 years at my MPH program, compared to like the 1 research project that I worked on in my 5 years of undergrad. And because part of that is just because there's less people. So the higher up you go in like furthering education, obviously the less people there are. So yeah, I think that was like a really cool thing, like a really great thing that I wish I'd known beforehand. You know, I might have come in a little bit more like guns blazing with trying to get research experience, because I didn't start talking to professors until closer to the summer, like close to the end of my first year. So yeah, no, that was definitely like a very like positive, like wish I had known. So kind of going off of what I just said, the 4th thing I wish I had known is that like public health is just everything. Like it's anything you can imagine. Anything that has to do with people and like health is public health. And I knew that public health was a really broad field going in. Like I said, I'd done behavioral health research in undergrad, and I kind of switched over to like the health policy side of things when I discovered like health advocacy and that was a thing. But like I knew you could like apply epidemiology to a lot of things and stuff like that, but I didn't really realize how many things you can do with a public health degree. I mean, from like talking about like lighting on roads and like, you know, to decrease pedestrian deaths, to CDC level infectious disease type stuff. Hello, COVID. And so with that, I get a lot of questions about, you know, sort of like people being very nervous about what specialization or what field they want to go into or what job they can get with a public health degree. And so what I kind of realized along the way, and what I tell everyone, is that you don't need to have like a job title in mind of like, this is what I want to do with my degree. You don't have to have an organization in mind of like, this is where I want to work. All you have to do is know what you love and know what you're passionate about and know what you're good at doing. So like, I don't know, like I like more of like collaborative, like teamwork kind of stuff, and I like getting to put information together into like slide decks and like sharing information, stuff like that. If you figure out those day-to-day things that you'll be doing, that you want to be doing, that you like doing, And it can just be as small as like, you know, I didn't necessarily like the fact that I just, you know, sat at a computer all day and worked by myself at my biotech job. I loved my job, but that was like an aspect of it that I didn't like. And I feel like those are the kinds of things that you have to realize when you're trying to figure out like, what am I going to do with this degree? Or like, do I want to go on and do like more school or like things like that? It's just kind of like, what is it day to day that you like doing? And like, how do you do that? And public health, thankfully, opens so many doors. And so you don't have to like worry too much about like, am I getting the right degree, as long as you know that you love health and you love public health. So yeah, I think like my mind was really opened to a lot of the different like possibilities that I didn't even know existed within public health. So this last one is kind of a sappy one, but I wish I had known how close I would become with the friends that I have here as quickly as I did. So I have a couple close friends now from my MPH program that it's just kind of like we've all survived like the same war together of like that first semester in the core. And it like you all share like very similar interests and like motives and drives in life, and that kind of like camaraderie is different than what you get in undergrad. And so yeah, I wasn't really expecting like to come out with having the experiences that I've had like socially that I did while I was here at Mailman. But I'm so thankful that I did, because it has helped me grow so much as a person. Just living in New York City in general has, but that's another topic. So yeah, like I said, to end on a sappy note, I'm thankful for all my MPH friends out there, my MPH family. And I am very excited to see where the world takes all of us. But yeah, now I'm like getting all sentimental, but that is it. Those are the 5 things that I wish I'd known. I could probably go on and on and on and just go through my entire experience and think about all the missteps or the triumphs that I, if I'd had a time machine, would have told myself about before. But that's the summary. Somewhat exciting, maybe exciting news is that I relaunched my actual written blog that I started a while back and then hadn't written in for years. So I relaunched that and have this video basically in written form linked below, as well as obviously some of the past posts that I had made about planners and pre-med stuff. So if you're interested, check it out. But yeah, so if you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, see where the world takes me. And I'm so excited to see where the world takes all of you. Congratulations to all the 2020 grads out there. In the stillness somewhere above, the city lights, you're falling in love.